going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? It's your guy Q, the movie collector, here again, back finally after all this time to kick off a brand new show. Today's show is going to be a starting of a few new things that I plan to do with the channel going forward. And first things first, I want to thank every last one of you guys has reached out to me while I've been gone away. I really need this time to really sit and collect my thoughts, think about what I wanted to do with the channel, plus some ongoing stuff that I had to tend to with my family as well as my mental health. So, in the time that I've been away, I rediscovered my love for gaming for starters. But I never stopped collecting. But yeah, this is week in physical media. It's still going to be the same intro that I've been using for the past few months, I guess you could say. But I do plan on doing some updates to the area, if you will. But I'm glad. Thank you guys to everyone that's been following me for this long amount of time. Promise you guys, I'll try not to be gone as long as I was before. But going forward, I just wanted to go over a few brief things on what things I tend to do with the channel. But first things first, week in physical media. This is the very first episode. And this is how I'm going to do my content from now on. I just looked at it from, trying to compile the latest and greatest and doing single things here and there. Just took a lot of time that I didn't have, on top of me working because I actually work a job and I have a family to take care of. And there just wasn't enough time for me to sit there and say, okay, well, I'm going to try to force myself to watch these new releases and try to get a review out in time. That's just not how I'm going to be able to operate from here on out. Now, there may be some rare cases where I will dedicate an entire video to one video review, but I just looked at it from a huger standpoint from, let me just put in here once a week. I could talk about upcoming releases. I can talk about my hauls that I got in for the week, and I can review some movies that I've watched. Now, the reviews are going to be a little different going forward. Now, there may be some stuff that's been out for a few months that I'm going to review. That's not to say that's a bad thing towards me because I just love watching movies in general. But it may be for some people that have subscribed to my channel, watch it for me reviewing the latest and greatest. But the other thing that I've kind of decided upon anyway is that I gotta be in the mood to watch a certain kind of film. If I get something new in, like for example, Frankenhooker, for example, like I know what Frankenhooker is all about. I've never seen it, but I do know it was made from the same director that did, Basket Case. And I know I gotta be in the mood to watch his movies. I just can't pop it in and just openly enjoy it. You know what I mean? So going forward, it's going to be a little bit of that. And plus, I want to try to encourage everyone that does collect physical media like myself to watch the movies in your collection. I mean, Sean William Scott said it best as Stifler in American Pie. Remove the shrink wrap and freaking use it. So but yeah, I want to encourage a lot of people, at least a lot of people who watch my channel or watch my content, to watch the movies in your collection. Collecting them is one thing, but I don't want to sit here and literally have something like, Ugly Stepsister that's sitting there still packaged up. Just sitting there, I want to watch it, you know what I mean? But I don't want to force myself to watch something that I just got in. So there's a lot of movies in my backlog that I need to go through. But yeah, I just wanted to explain all of that. And again, if I've already said it a million times over, Thank you guys for sticking around. You don't know how much that means to me. I'm happy for the new people that have subscribed to the channel in my absence. So going forward, this is going to be it, week in physical media. So let's get started with the first thing. So April 7th, that's Tuesday. We've got a slew of new releases coming out. We've got the VHS Halloween that's coming out that day. We've also got Mercy, which I'm going to talk about that here shortly. We got the 4K Blu-ray of Mercy coming out as well. We've got Frankenhooker 4K that's dropping that day. For those people who didn't know to pre-order directly from, I think it was Synapse, that you can officially buy it, I guess, on Amazon and things of that nature. And then you've got the Steelbook release of Deer Hunter in 4K, which I think Scream Factory or Shout Factory has had that release out in 4K for quite some time now. But I think this is all a part of like Shout/Scream Factory rehashing or re-releasing some of their titles in their catalog in steelbook form. And then you've got a very odd, a very odd release coming out on Tuesday. And I guess this may lead to, I guess the rights may have ran out for a certain boutique label that had this movie in their repertoire. But Universal is putting out a 4K steelbook of Carlito's Way. So it makes me wonder if the rights that Arrow got to put that out a few years back, if that's run amok now. And now Universal is putting that out. So if anybody happens to get that steelbook and have the 4K available, have the Arrow 4K available, let me know what you guys think. Come back to this review, the weekend review video here, and let me know down in the comments if there's any differences. But I'm gonna automatically assume that the Arrow version is gonna have more special features. I didn't look to see what was gonna be included in that Universal release, but if you don't have Carlito's Way, regardless if it's the past Arrow release or just the movie release in general, highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite Al Pacino movies. So definitely check it out. So that does it for the upcoming releases. So let's get into what I picked up in the past week and also what was sent to me as well for review. So let me go through my pile here that I got in from the people over at Alliance, which they send me movies in to review. But I've got this stack of Mubi. I think that's how you pronounce it, Mubi releases that they sent me in. One of these I will be talking about with movies that I'm reviewing in the review segment later on in the video. But one of those is Die My Love. This is the 4K Blu-ray release of it, if you can see here. And then we've got this movie called Lurker, as you can see here. Here's Lurker. Then we got a movie that's called The History of Sound. Okay. And then we've got a release that I did talk about that is coming out this Tuesday. In my opinion, Netflix could learn a thing or two about this from Amazon, which I'm going to celebrate the fact that I'm glad we're getting Stranger Things done from Arrow. We're getting that whole collection from Arrow coming up, I think, in July, which I think that's great that Netflix is finally putting their stuff out in physical format. But they could learn a thing or two about putting their actual movies on physical format, and that is Mercy. That's coming out Tuesday, and this is the 4K release of it. I look forward to actually watching this. I've seen the trailers to this. I'm not really huge on movies that the streaming platforms actually put out because they're kind of like, they're hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them are great, and some of them are just god awful. So, but I look forward to checking this out because I did not watch this on my Amazon Prime. So, what better way to watch it now than on physical format? So, but those are what I got in. And then I also got the Blu-ray to this. I think this is also, I think there's another company putting out a 4K to this. But I'm happy to say, my rule of thumb is, if you're going to put out a 4K release, you got to put out a 4K release. So, I got the Blu-ray to this. I think this is also, I think there's another company putting out a 4K to this. But I'm happy to say, my rule of thumb is, if you're going to put out a 4K release, you got to put out a 4K release. So, I got the Blu-ray to this. I think this is also, I think there's another company putting out a 4K to this. But I'm happy to say, my rule of thumb is, if I get something sent in for review and it's Blu-ray and it's of a newer film, not something that came out 20 plus years ago, I'm happy with the Blu-ray because chances are it's not going to be that big of a difference. But I got We Buried the Dead in, and I've been really wanting to see this film. As you guys know, I don't get out to go to the movie theaters, which hopefully that's going to change later this month. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah, this has got Daisy Ridley in there. You know, she played in the newer three Star Wars films. But when I saw the trailer, man, the trailer just looked batshit crazy. So I really want to see this. Um, People, if you're watching this, if let me know what your thoughts are on this. I can't wait to check this out. But yeah, that's We Bury the Dead. And then last but not least, I got sent in Primate, which Paramount put this out. And oddly enough, Paramount has been kind of what's the word I want to use here? Because when I got sent this, I was thinking to myself, was there a 4K version of this movie? And from what I saw, I didn't see any 4K releases of this movie coming out. So I guess Blu-ray is the only form of this movie coming out. So I've heard mixed things about it. I'm excited to check it out, crazy apes and kill people. Yeah. I'm excited to check this out. I just wonder, could this be better than Congo? Which you really can't put Congo on a pedestal. It's just, Congo is Congo. So anywho, I know it's completely different, but yeah, that's Primate. I can't wait to check this out neither. Now, as far as my pickups, so I'm gonna go into what I got from the 50% off sale of Criterion, the flash sale that they did. I think it was it last week? I can't remember. But typically when they have their flash sales, because now I've been racking up Criterion releases here in the past few, I want to say over the past year, I've gotten pretty much everything that I could possibly want from Criterion, but there was one release that I definitely wanted to get because a lot of my friends in the community talked so much about this release. They said, "Man, you gotta get this," and I've heard this set praised many times over. I can tell you right now, I've already watched the first movie in this box set, and I am hooked. I think I'm gonna watch the second one after I'm done filming this video. But I picked up the Before trilogy, which is got the three movies in there that feature Ethan Hawke and gosh, what is her name? What is her name? What is her name? What is her name? Julie Delpy, which feature those two. And the interesting thing that I learned about, especially watching the special features in the first film, which was Before Sunrise, is that the director, gosh, man, I'm so bad. Richard Linklater. The director basically got with both Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and they all just did a collaborative effort with the first film, and that continued for the second and third film as well. So I really fell in love with the first movie. I know it's romance, it's mostly dialogue driven, but it kept me very intrigued. So I'm really excited to check out the other two movies in this collection, but I'm very happy to have this in my collection. And but yeah, that was the Before trilogy. And then the other one that I picked up, which technically, let me see if it's back here. I did see it the other day when I was going through my stuff. Where is it at? Let's see. Well, I have to look for it another time because I thought it was easily back here to where I could grab it. It's apparently not. But anywho, the second one that I picked up was Killers of the Flower Moon. I love this Scorsese film, which has got Robert De Niro and Leo DiCaprio in it. Love this film. If you've never seen this, I highly recommend you pick this up. Scorsese is one of those directors that's been doing it for a very long time, and the guy still has it. I mean, he has not missed a beat. His movies are still very engaging, very entertaining, and this was no exception. So, Criterion put out this 4K, which before I think I have the 4K Cult Edition that came out. I want to say a few years ago. That was a really good transfer. I think when I review this, I may compare the two, maybe, maybe not. But if you're not familiar with 4K Cult, that's like the German company. But they put it out a few years ago, and that was a great transfer. So I can't really wait to check this out as well. But those were my two I picked up from the Criterion 50% off flash sale. So um, next up that I got, which is also an upcoming release that comes out this Tuesday, and that was Frankenhooker. So I picked this up. This is a really, really nice edition, but I will tell you, and this is just me being a little nitpicky. Um, I really hope with the other ones, I think with Fright Night Part Two, and then there's a few other ones that Synapse is putting out this year. I really hope we get something a little bit better than this. Not saying I'm not complaining because I mean this thing is jam packed with features, but I really hope we get something a little thicker. You know, I'm thinking, um, gosh, what was that? Trick or Treat. I'm thinking along those lines. I hope we get something a little thicker than that. Um, but yeah, Frankenhooker. I got this. This comes out Tuesday. And then these next two I picked up, which oddly enough, when I saw this posted on Orbit, I said I had to have it because these were two horror films that back when I believe, and I was in high school, I believe, when these came out, or after, or somewhere in the 2000s, somewhere in 2000s when these came out, and I wanted to own these, and I'm pretty sure this had a physical release here in the states, but I just never really checked it out. But there's this company called Last Slate Video, which they've got a lot of releases on their website. But I picked up Laid to Rest and Laid to Rest 2 Chrome Skull. So I have to have these, man. These were some really, really bizarre horror films in the 2000s, but um great movies, I could say the least. But I picked those up. And then also I picked up Ray in 4K from Kino Lorber. You know, I'm glad this came out this month because, like I said, this month I'm hoping to get into the theaters to watch another movie that I'm excited to watch, which is Michael. Spoiler alert. But I really love biopic films, and this is an amazing biopic film about Ray Charles. And I think this movie here was Jamie Foxx's. I think this was his first Oscar win, if I'm not mistaken. But what they've done with Kino Lorber, which I love that Kino Lorber does every now and then, they give you reversible cover art. So when you initially get this, you have this front cover here, but then you can reverse it to this here too. And this thing is loaded with special features too. Um, I don't know if they're new or they're legacy, but I'm glad they're here. Glad to have them. I know Kino Lorber becomes the one label that so many people like to crap on, which I'll make another video about that at another time. I'm gonna save my breath today, but I'm very happy to own Ray. That actually rhymed. So there's that. And I picked up from Turbine the release of Clown. I've never seen this movie, but I've heard it's good. So I can't wait to check this out. Another one that I picked up from Turbine was Frighteners. Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson. Let's get more Peter Jackson horror out there this year. I really want more Peter Jackson horror, but I picked up Clown as well. And these next few releases are all Vinegar Syndrome. So I picked up Body of Evidence, Married to the Mob, which I'm so glad they put this back out because I think the original Blu-ray release that Vinegar Syndrome put out years ago was is out of print. So I was glad they redid this with the cinematograph line under doing it in 4K at that. So happy to own this. And rest in peace to Robert Duvall. Also picked up Badge 373. And then I picked up Massacre. Picked that up as well. So yeah, I picked that up. I had to double check the look on the front of it, make sure there wasn't no nudity. You know, they did the same thing with was it Murder Rock? That one's got a cover you can't show on here. But yeah, picked up Masker as well. And then I also picked up Office Killer, which I've never seen this before. The fact that it had Carol Kane and Molly Ringwald in it made me want to check it out. And I know this came out in the 90s, so I really wanted to check that out as well. And then last up that I got in, I got the Housemaid 4K. I think this is an Amazon 4K exclusive release. And you've got this little opening here, and it's more of a slip box release. It's got a digipack on the inside. So I got that. And then, one of my favorite, I guess technically boutique labels. I picked up the Doors 4K Steelbook. I know this 4K has been out with, what's the Studio Canal for a while now, but I really like the Steelbook. I've never owned the 4K, so this was a perfect time for me to pick this up. Again, biopics. There's a theme going on right here. Then I also picked up the very controversial Leprechaun 4K Steelbook. I will say I have not watched this yet, just because I know that there's going to be a corrected disc sent out to everyone that bought this release. Um, One thing I can say honestly about Lionsgate Limited is that when they make a mistake, they send out the corrected disc. I know people look at, bad disc as like a negative thing. Yeah, it's bad, but that negative is avoided when companies make right on it. And I can't think of a time when Lionsgate Limited has never made right on correcting the disc. They've always done great by it. Companies like Arrow should take heed to that. As well as I just praise Keno Lorber. Keno Lorber should take heed to that as well. A lot of the other labels, they really do take care of their errors and they fix them. So and I also picked up The Substitute. Really, really great 4K. Really, really. I'm debating if I want to talk about this today. I might talk about it. We'll see. And then next I got in. I'm gonna talk about this. Next in we got Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake. Um, I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts about this. My thoughts may actually surprise you. So, but yeah, that's my pickups for the week so far. Let me know down in the comments if there's like any of those movies besides ones I'm going to talk about that you want me to check out, and I'll try to make time to check them out at a later date. But for now, let's review some movies right now. So going back at it, I'm gonna go ahead and just get this out of the way, okay? Silent Night, Deadly Night. So this is the remake, okay? I know when this movie came out in theaters, I know a lot of people, had their thoughts about it. I know there was more negative versus the little bit of positive. It just depends on who's watching this. At the same time, where are you? Pull this out right quick. It's a good thing by having your movies behind you. You just reach to the back and just grab one. So here's the OG. This is the original. This is the OG. Huge fan of the OG, by the way. It's a classic horror film. Very classic horror film. The remake, on the other hand, it goes a different route. So you've got you got Billy in the remake. Billy does the kills a little differently compared to how he's done them in the original. I don't want to spoil it. I mean, he still puts on the Santa costume and he kills people, but it's done a lot differently in this one. Without giving too much away, he's a lot menacing and scarier in the original film versus where this, because they made you feel really, I mean, you felt bad for him in this, but you really kind of feel for him in this one just a little bit. Well, no, I'll take that back. You don't feel for him. But it's different. He's more of in this one it's kind of like he's unhinged. You kind of get the sense of where he's going with this one. This one is kind of like you understand why he's doing it and you're rooting him on to keep doing what he's doing. But I'll tell you this much. I liked the remake. Did I love it? I didn't love it, but I liked it. And I didn't hate it. Okay. But compared to the original, it doesn't come close to the original, in my opinion. The original is going to be the original for a long time. But I think for newer people who don't know anything about this one, this is a pretty decent foundation to stand on for newer audiences. You know, you got to respect the newer audiences. If this was pure crap, I would say, you know what, this is absolutely pure hot garbage crap. But I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. And Now the 4K of this, and this is one other thing that's changing with the review segment. Not every review that I go in depth about is I'm gonna have screenshots to compare transfers with. So it's only gonna be for a select few movies that I will do that with. But I overall thought this was a solid transfer. Even though this release of it, it's just I think it's just normal. No, it's not even HDR. It's just a 4K disc. And I thought it looked good. I thought it looked good. I thought it sounded really good as well. Now there's some negatives with the speech in the movie. Like I thought the speech could have been bumped up enough, but all the kills and everything that nature were pretty loud and proud. But yeah, I mean, and I like the steelbook too. I thought the steelbook is really nice. You know, I really liked it. But yeah, that's my review on Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake. Um, Again, very solid. I wouldn't say very solid, but again, entertaining. I will say entertaining. Um, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. The next one I'm going to talk about now. This movie got sent to me for the purposes of review from Alliance. You can also pick this up on Amazon as well. But I watched the Blu-ray of Icefall. This stars Joel Kinnaman, which you may know from Suicide Squad. There was that really awful movie that he did a few years back where he was deaf and he lost his family and stuff. Like I really did not like that movie. I forgot the name of it was, but if you know, you know. But Icefall, this movie here, I mean, you've this movie is about basically it kind of reminded me of what's the name of that movie? A Simple Plan. It reminded me of Simple Plan in a way, but just a completely different take, I guess you can say. Where you've basically got this group of people that pull the heist at the very beginning of the movie. They steal a bunch of money. They put the money on the airplane. Airplane's in the air during the snowstorm, and it crashes. And it's carrying like I think they said it was like 20 some odd $1 million that just crash lands into the water, and it's frozen there. And so Joel Kinnaman's character stumbles upon this hole from fishing out in the lake because it's all frozen, but there's this hole. He gets this money, but then the money is actually being tracked. It has a tracker on it. So these group of people that stole this money come into this Montana town, and they start looking for it, and they start killing a lot of people in their path to try to find this money. Um, this is one of those movies where like if you want a solid action flick, this is a solid action flick, compared to most that don't really get like a theatrical release or anything. But you know, I went into this movie with low expectations. I actually really liked it. The sound on this was pretty amazing too. That's one thing I gotta give kudos for. It's got a DTS Master Audio 5.1 track. Now, what I will say that I wish they did add for this, I wish there were special features. As you can see here, there are none present on this release. Zero, absolutely nothing. There's nothing on this disc. But very much, very entertaining. There's some other people in this movie that's been in movies over the years. I thought were pretty entertaining. I forgot what that one guy's name was. There's two other people in this movie that they're they're well known, but this was a solid movie, man. It's a solid action flick. If you just you just hanging around in your man cave or movie theater room and you want to just pop in a movie to watch, this was I hate to say it, somewhat of a banger. So check out Icefall. Definitely check out Icefall. I'll put links in the description here for you guys. Check it out. And then another one that I got around to watching, which I've seen before a very long time ago, and I've actually had this movie in my collection since it first came out. I'm actually very ashamed to sit here and say, this is my first time, my first time watching it since I've had it. But yeah, I watched Hardboiled. This is the 4K release of it from Shout Studios, Shout Factory, however you want to pronounce. I still call them Shout Factory. Um, John Woo, a John Woo film, which if you're not familiar with John Woo films, get very much familiar with it because a lot of the high octane action films you watch today were heavily inspired by movies like this one. Harbor Boys got Chow Yun Fat in it, legendary actor as far as action cinema is concerned. And one way I like to put it, John Woo's right hand man to a lot of his movies. But anywho, Chow Yun Fat, he's a cop, which he gets a nickname of being a hard-boiled cop because he kind of goes off the books and instead of just going in quietly, he goes in guns blazing. And the very first scene of this movie, it locks you in from the jump. I mean, they're having a shootout inside of a restaurant where they have like these birds and cage. Everyone has like birds and cages in this restaurant. I mean, you got to see it to believe it. But man, it's action packed from the very beginning of this movie to the very end of it. Um, the one of the key scenes in this film, which was all done in one shot, was like at the very end where everything's like all hell's breaking loose inside this hospital. And it's a one whole shot ordeal, and it's pretty amazing. You'll know it when you see it. It's pretty amazing. But there's some really, really great action scenes in this. And the transfer, oh my god, the transfer is freaking amazing. You know, with Shout Factory, you're getting a pretty good transfer most of the time with their releases, but this was really, 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 really good. Um, it does come with a Cantonese DTS master audio mono track, and it's also got an English DTS master audio track. I do know that the Arrow release of this, they give you a Dolby Atmos track on it. I think that was one of the big key differences between this and the Arrow release. Shout out to Jordan from um, gosh, I can't think today. Shout out to my boy Jordan. He's got a nice comparison between the two on his channel. But yeah, I actually have this one. I don't think I'm going to be buying the Arrow release of this. But yeah, Hardball. This is an absolute must have in my opinion. Then next up, I'm gonna talk about I'll talk about that one at another date. Let me see what we've got here. I did have oh yeah, that's it, this one. I want to talk about this one. This is gonna be the last review I talk about today because the video's already gone on for far too long. I may cram some more other ones in next week's video. But I watched Die My Love. Well, depending on who you ask about this film, you're going to get one or two responses. People are going to say they actually liked it, or they just didn't know what the heck they were watching. I will say this much, and I have a guilty pleasure in watching unhinged Jennifer Lawrence movies, but this movie, it has Jennifer Lawrence. It also has Robert Pattinson. It also has Sissy Spacek, and I also did not realize, but Nick Nolte is also in this film. Nick Nolte's in this film. So Sissy Spacek and Nick Nolte, they play as Robert Pattinson's mom and dad in the film. So basically what the movie's about Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson's character. They are a couple. And they move into Robert Pattinson's uncle's old house, and they end up trying to fix it up. In the meantime, Jennifer Lawrence gets pregnant. Then she has the baby, and then from that standpoint on, crazy things start to take place, and you start really viewing everything from Jennifer Lawrence's character's perspective. Um, I didn't really figure it out until like maybe midpoint throughout the film because there's a lot of psychotic episodes that Jennifer Lawrence's character has during this movie. And you start to realize that she's probably going through postpartum depression. And you notice there's some things that are going on in her head, and she thinks that's happening, but it's not really happening. It's just a really crazy twisted movie. Now, what I will say, what I think the trailer to this film did not do a good job of, because I felt like this felt like this was marketed towards like slightly horror in a way. It's not horror to me at all. It's a psychological something. Um, but um, but yeah, in at the very end of this movie, the events you just left either wondering, okay, what's going on here? Is it really ending this way? Um, I will say for the most part, I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. Now, the transfer on this thing, the director, who's the director? Lynn Ramsey. And you gotta excuse me, I don't know too much about Lynn Ramsey's thing. I watch movies and they're either good or bad to me. But I really felt like this movie was beautifully shot. The transfer on this is a HDR10 transfer, and I want to say this is actually it's a 4:3. It's a 4:3. So this was a very beautiful movie to look at. Very, very beautiful movie to look at. It was very detailed. The colors were really nice. You can kind of tell the differences between what was really going on in reality to Jennifer Lawrence's character versus when she was in her psychotic state. You can kind of tell the differences between the two, but man, this was a very beautifully shot film. The other thing I will also say about this movie is that DTS 5.1 track on this film blows away, I want to say, about 85% of Dolby Atmos tracks. I was very impressed with this. Was like Christopher Nolan level of audio quality. When I looked into it, I was kind of surprised that this movie didn't win anything as far as for the audio, but man, the audio truly blew me away. I really felt like I was really sitting outside in the countryside because I'm hearing birds chirping all over my head, and I think that's got to be attributed to the DTSX up mixer that I have on my setup. But man, it really was nice and atmospherics, and the LFE was pretty nice on this too. Now, will I recommend this? Now, yes and no. I'm gonna say mainly no. Mainly because this movie, number one, this movie isn't for everybody. Okay, it's definitely not for everybody. I really think this is one of Jennifer Lawrence's best acting performances. Because she's very unhinged, Jennifer Lawrence, if you get what I mean. But I just don't think it's worth it. Catch it on sale or something. Or if another label happens to get their hands on this to release it overseas. Unless they add more special features to that release, I would say that maybe that would be worth getting. But for now, as it stands, I really can't recommend this. Just because I'll show you here. So they give you, which the good thing is, they give you the 4K and the Blu-ray inside of here, which is great. That's all nice and dandy. But man, you don't get not a single special feature on this. And I'm always the biggest advocate for telling people, you should go after the movies for the movies you love. Forget the extra special features. If you love the movie, buy the movie. You know what I mean? But for this, I mean, you don't even have a theatrical trailer as a special feature on this. It's just the movie on both the 4K and the Blu-ray. Movie, if you're watching this, put some special features on your releases. You got to. I mean, I'm even looking at the other two that I've got here, which I do plan on watching at some point with the History of Sound and the Lurker. I'm looking on the back, there's like no special features. And I want to say, even for the Substance, when you guys released it, I think you guys did add something to it. It was like a little featurette you guys added on there. Add something to these releases. Make, you know, give us something to check out because I really wanted to find out more about how this movie was filmed. Like it really looked that great. It deserved a special feature for that alone. But yeah, but yeah, guys, that's it for the video today. For this week in physical media. Again, this is the very first episode. I hope you guys stick around for future episodes. I'm trying to aim for posting every Sunday, Sunday night, and hoping to get it out that following Monday. But if you guys enjoy this, let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this because that's going to really determine whether or not if I go back to the old way of doing videos versus this new way of doing it. Me personally, I like this new way of me doing these videos because it's a longer video for you guys and you get a lot more crammed into it. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. More importantly. Overall, if you guys that are dropping by watching my videos, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. If you watch my videos, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you a single penny. Just tune in and let's talk physical media and movies. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.